Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. This is another very special event for the library, and we're so glad to have you here. As you look around, you will see that this is the new MaxxSouth Digital Media Center. It would not be possible if it were not for Mr. John Block, and we very much appreciate that. He helped us really get off to a big start with that, as did the University Administration and Rick Travis in Arts and Sciences, and we certainly want to thank them very much. We have a number of guests from out of town here today from the MaxxSouth Corporation, and I would like for them to stand and be welcomed. Would you please stand? We had to indoctrinate one or two, you know, about colors and where they were from and all of that, but we worked on two and we have one more to go, and he's kind of weakening, but I don't know, but we will work on him. Before we get started now at lunch, Mr. Block let us sing happy birthday to him, and so I want us, this is a much larger group, and he's a visitor here, and he's you know, an adopted Mississippian and an adopted Mississippi State. So could we please sing happy birthday again? Okay, Fred?
What did I start?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear John. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much. We're going to follow our program today, and if you look there, we're very honored to have our president. We also have Dr. John Ford, who had some of the same vision that we had when we wanted to begin with all of this, and we met and we talked, and John, I don't think we prayed, but I think we kind of got to that. So we were most fortunate that here we are, and this is a wonderful, just a wonderful opportunity for our students, and I hope you all realize that. And I want to thank the individuals who have brought us this far as our staff and our faculty. It's another team effort project here at Mississippi State University, and we all work together, but and we're very much aware of what we're doing for our students. That's very important too, because that's why we are all here, is for our students. But we'll be hearing from Stephen Canetto, who's very much involved in getting this going, and he's kind of hard-headed about it, but we got it going, and he has done a great job, and if you would, I'd like to applaud Stephen. And as soon as we finish this, I have something else for you to do. So, but we are going to follow the program. We're going to hear from Stephen, from Rick Travis, from John Ford, and certainly from our very honored and special guest who has made all of this possible, Mr. Block. So without that, I would like to for you to welcome our president, Dr. Mark Keenum.
Thank you very much, Dean Coleman. And I tell you, she's good about complimenting other people, but I think we ought to show our appreciation to Dean Frances Coleman for her outstanding leadership and bringing us here today for this wonderful occasion. And Dean Coleman, this is becoming a habit, coming over here and cutting ribbons in this beautiful Mitchell Memorial Library, in this beautiful space here, this MaxxSouth Digital Media Center, which will serve our students for generations to come, Mr. Block. And we thank you sincerely and your MaxxSouth family and partners who are making this possible. You know, at a university, we're focused on the future, especially here in this 21st century. And this facility, the state-of-the-art facility, will enable us to have cutting-edge technology for teaching and for learning for our students. So I deeply appreciate your leadership, your commitment, and your support for this outstanding facility. In addition to the support from MaxxSouth, Dr. David Shaw, our provost, the Office of the Provost, Dr. Judy Bonner before him provided support for this facility. Dean Travis, I thank you for that, of the College of Arts and Sciences, and Dr. Ford for the Department of Communication. I thank you sincerely for your support in helping to make this special occasion possible. But to the team, to the library here, the leadership team, and all those who contribute to make this library the best library anywhere, I want to say thank you as well for your commitment and your support. So let's have a great celebratory occasion this afternoon. I'm just proud to be here to say welcome to all of you and to all the students who are here, because you are the ones who are going to benefit the greatest from this wonderful new facility. So let's have a great occasion. May God bless you, and Hail State. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'd like to add my sincere thank you for all of you for being here today. It is a great day, and it's hard to believe that we're finally here to celebrate the official opening of the MaxxSouth Digital Media Center. It's been a long time coming. I know the staff that are standing in the back have wondered if this day would ever actually happen, and we're so thankful we're finally here. Certainly want to take this opportunity to also thank Mr. Block for all of his support of the MSU libraries, not just in the MaxxSouth Digital Media Center, but also his support of the Special Collections Department. He has established an excellence fund that allows us to purchase materials in support of rare book collecting. So we appreciate him for all of the support he has given to Mississippi State. And we certainly want to also thank the team from MaxxSouth. They've been great to work with over this last couple of years as we've been partnering with them. Purvis Parker, thank him for all of his work and for joining us today. Certainly Jeff Shook, as well as John Wooderman. They've been great to work with, and we certainly appreciate all of the MaxxSouth team for being here today. I know there many of us in the room were not sure that this day would actually happen, but because we've been planning this for nearly, I guess you'd say, 7 or 8 years, and everything with a good plan and a good vision takes a while to come to fruition, right? But this really has been a library-wide project, and something that has been no small feat to undertake. Just as you look around this room actually used to house a variety of other different types of collections. We used to have in this room our government documents collections, our microfilm collections, microform collections. We have newspapers, current journals were all housed in this room. Before we could actually move the Digital Media Center into this space, we had to do something with those collections. So we decided long ago to start evaluating our collections and looking at how we can repurpose space within the library. And that was a big part of what we wanted to do, not only to support teaching and research, but certainly making sure that we had a variety of places and types of spaces for our students to use. So we undertook a big project, which was to relocate those collections. And thanks to our collection management services team, our faculty and staff in that department, as well as our research services faculty, we were able to go through those collections and reevaluate them, look at what collections we had in print, see if we had something that was duplicated in online, and then make a decision as to whether we kept the print version here or in offsite. That took a great amount of time. Of course, moving the microfilm collection, if you ever used microform collections, those are very large collections. We had to move those into another location in the library, and that was a very difficult task as well. But we persevered and we made it happen. And all of that was a part of repurposing spaces to make it available to our students. Of course, our vision for the Digital Media Center has always been to make this space a place where students can come. They can use a variety of different types of tools and technologies, and I think that's exactly what we've been able to accomplish over the last couple of years. The vision for us has been to make a space that was creative, allow a place where students can come in and learn how to use different types of technologies, because as a reality, our students today are having to learn a wide variety of different types of technologies in order to meet their goals. So it is, instead of just learning the content for their for their coursework, they also now have to figure out how to use different digital technologies, digital tools to make it in this world. So it's great that we're able to provide those types of services here in this space. So we have a makerspace. So many of you wonder what a makerspace is. So this is a place where we are encouraging students to come out and create things. So in the back of the room, and I hope you'll take some time after this is finished to explore the different areas, but in the makerspace we have 3D printing. This is an opportunity for students to come in and take a flat object, turn it into a 3D object, and then print it out. So I do have a slight, one piece of show and tell that we'd like to show you, and this is over here to my left, your right. You'll see the dog collar, and Thomas LaFoe actually worked with one of the athletic staff members, and the athletic staff member came over and said he had this flat image, which was the Welcome to Stark Vegas image, and he wanted to turn it into a 3D object. He had been around to a variety of places in Starkville and on campus to find how can we make this something that we can use on the football field. And so Thomas was able to take that, pull it into SketchUp, and then actually 3D print that. And so if you're watching football, if you're watching the MSU football team, you'll see this on TV, very prominently displayed. We're very excited about that. But this opens up a whole other realm for our students to be able to use. We also now have a Cavs mixed reality studio. This is a virtual reality and augmented reality studio. And this was a partnership with the Cavs, the Center for Advanced Vehicular Systems. They provided funding that allowed us to purchase this equipment, to put it into this space, to not only make this equipment available to students in engineering, but to all students. So that's one of the things that's really been very gratifying about this project, is that we've been able to partner with different departments on campus to make these tools available. Talk about the 3D printing, that actually started as a project with interior design. We partnered with them. They had an opportunity to have a 3D printer in their department. We wanted to have that type of technology available, and we didn't have the funding currently available, so we partnered with them to bring their 3D printer here and make it available not only to their students, but to all students on campus. Same thing with our music composition stations here in the back. Another partnership with the Department of Music. They had a space, they had the equipment, but they didn't have the greater access that they needed for their students to have access to the technology. So they brought it to the library, again, partnering with the library to make it available not just to their students, but to all the students on campus. And that's been a great partnership. And then, of course, the other partnership that we're very proud about is the partnership with the Department of Communication to bring forth a TV studio. We're very pleased about this. This actually just opened up this semester, and it's been interesting to see the technology come together. It's also been interesting to see the students actually getting in to use the space, but it's been very gratifying. So I don't want to steal Dr. Ford's thunder, but we partnered with the Department of Communication, saw a need, and instead of us going off and doing something ourselves individually, we decided to come together and do something a little bit larger, and that's what's really brought us to the point of having this TV studio in the library. And I'll have to say that this is probably, well, it is the only one in the state of Mississippi that is in an actual library. It's probably one of the only ones in the Southeast, so we're very proud of that, to actually be able to provide this type of service to our students. And this is definitely a huge benefit to the Department of Communication. And this semester, we're allowing Department of Communication students to use it as solely. They're the only ones occupying the space. But in the spring, we plan to make this space available to all of our students and to other departments on campus. It'll broaden the learning opportunities for our students. And who knows, we might have the next Oprah Winfrey coming out of the studio here. So it's a great to be able to provide these types of services to our students and open up the realm of possibilities for them. So in closing, I just want to again thank all of those people who have been a huge part of this process. And I certainly would be remiss if I didn't stop and thank the Digital Media Center staff. Most of them are standing here in the back. They've done a huge amount of work over the last several months to learn the technologies, to implement the technologies, to work with the faculty and the staff to implement these technologies, but also to just figure out what was the vision for the library and for the Digital Media Center. And they've done a huge job. I'd like to give them a round of applause. And like with any project, there's always tons of people who who work on a project that allow us to bring it to fruition. It's never done by one person, it's always a group of individuals. And we have a great team of people here at the library. Building Services Group, led by Waverly and Eric. They've done a huge amount of work over the last year to help us renovate this space. Our Systems Group, led by Paul, Matt, and Nico, they've done a huge amount of work in terms of getting us ready, bringing the technology forward. And I just can't say enough about those three different groups for all the work that they've done. I want to give them a big round of applause. So again, thank you so much for being here. We hope that you see the vision that we've had for the expansion of the Media Center. We aren't through. We want to continue to improve upon the services we have. We want to spend more money to buy more equipment and technology in support of our students, because we really feel like this will give them the basis they need for expanding the digital literacy skills that they have. So thank you.
This is such an exciting day. I'm glad to see so many people here. I know most of you, but I'm John Ford. I've been a faculty member for 32 years here on campus. I was department head for 15 years until July 1st. My successor here, Dr. Terry Like, started August 1st. And one of the things I wanted to mention is I think that this demonstrates everything Stephen talked about, what can happen with partnerships. This was a great partnership. And I look back and one of the things as a department head you're trying to do is raise money and build facilities and serve students, serve faculty. And one of the really smart things that we did was have Stephen Canetto be on our advisory board. As he mentioned about 5 years ago or so, we had a desperate need to expand our studio facilities for our students and faculty. And we mentioned that in an advisory board meeting, and Stephen said, well, we may have some option here, let's talk about it. And so with the support of Associate Dean Stephen Canetto and Dean Francis Coleman, they said, let's get this going, let's talk about it. And we had great support on campus. Dr. Travis in the Dean's office was very supportive, Provost's office, Dr. Keenum mentioned Dr. Bonner was very supportive, and now Dr. Shaw and Dr. Keenum's office is always supportive with the different things we're doing. I want you, as we go over here, to look at the facility and realize how much this will help our students, our meaning the Department of Communication, especially broadcast, obviously. But beyond that, it will help the students and faculty all over campus, because so many aspects of the facility will broaden to other areas and be open to others. So again, we appreciate so much all the support on campus. Mr. Block, words cannot express how much we appreciate you and your support. And this day is so exciting. As Stephen said, you look forward to a day and say, wow, it's finally here. And thank you all for being here. And again, thank you for the people here. We have faculty here, students, and I know you'll enjoy using the facility. So thank you.
I too want to add my thank you for being here today, and I really want to focus on Stephen, Francis, and John, because they were the ones who came to this idea, came to me, and I was, I think, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs in the college at the time. And I must say, what they presented to me, I was very myopic in my approach to this. All of these wonderful things here today, the virtual reality, the makerspace, and on and on and on, those are just ancillary for me. Because as Associate Dean at the time, I understood we had about 250 undergraduate majors in broadcasting who had limited access to a TV studio. Now, we had a wonderful partner over at the Wise Center, the University TV Center, but they were a fully functioning TV center, and they could only allow our students to have certain amounts of time there. So from the beginning, I only focused on one thing. I've got 250 students that are going to get to play as much as they want to play. For them, practicing with the media, practicing with the technology is not just a change in degree, but it's a change in kind for the kind of education they're going to receive at Mississippi State University. I'm rather sure that our broadcasting majors who were leaving here were better perhaps than we could have afforded them, because they're such wonderful students and we have wonderful faculty. But now we've caught up with technology, and Mr. Block, you've made that possible for us to catch up in technology, so that no longer are we having to tinker at the margins with the settings of the TV studio, but now they get to play with it all they want. They get to reshoot a variety of things, and their ability to learn from the basics all the way up is just dramatically different. And John, you convinced me of this. Francis, thank you for your dogged support. And I think that's always the right word to use with you. When you sink your teeth into something, it's going to happen, or something else is going to happen. And so we're very appreciative of that. Thank you, Stephen, for bringing all of this together. And Mr. Block, we especially appreciate you.
Well, thank you. I feel that I have so many friends here in Starkville at MSU, and I'm quite moved by this auspicious day. Thank you for helping me celebrate my 40th birthday, which causes some confusion because I'm remembering something that happened to me 38 years ago when I was 2. And I was a young reporter in Washington representing the Toledo Blade. I had a White House press pass and could go to White House noon briefings that were given in those days by Mississippi native Larry Speaks. But it was the carte blanche in Washington. You could get into anything, and I often preferred to go to the State Department briefing on some days when the White House was quiet. And I'd go to the State Department briefing, and every time there were a lot of TV people there, along with writing press. Every day I was at the State Department briefing, I would sit in the front row, right next to a striking blonde woman. Didn't know her name, didn't know who she was. She worked for CBS, I think. And the State Department in 1981 was important. Television had discovered it the year before when the Iranian hostage crisis started. Before that, they didn't know what the State Department was. It was completely writing press, but they had on-air people. But this woman correspondent for one of the networks was not on the air very often. At that point, there wasn't much news from the State Department. It was maybe once every 2 weeks, 20 seconds. And that this was a real place of isolation in news TV land of Washington at the time. There was a lot of exciting stuff going on at the Pentagon, of Star Wars and White House and Reagan this and Reagan that and Tip O'Neill on Capitol Hill. So I'm day after day, or many days, sitting there with the blonde woman next to me. And one of the things, we'd make small talk, hello, how are you, that kind of thing, but it was very clear that she was somewhat sad. She looked withdrawn at times. She seemed depressed. There were no rings on her left hand. And I thought, well, she's a year or two older than me, and I'm by myself. I'm going to see if I can have coffee with her. Well, I really want to have more than coffee with her. I wonder if what she's doing on Friday night or Saturday. But in the end, I was too shy to approach, turning the daily small talk into a personal encounter or personal interaction. And so I didn't take a chance, but that woman was actually quite a bit older than me, 10 years to be exact, but looked more like 1 or 2, and it was Diane Sawyer. And she clearly was alone in life, and I would have been very happy to help her not be alone. So, what's the point of this at the opening of a media center? The point is that I believe that you might have future media greatness right here, right now, at this university in the form of a young man or a young woman whose talents have not yet surfaced or have not yet been fully developed. They're embryonic, but a facility such as that new television facility, practice room, might be where Diane Sawyer, Walter Cronkite, or whatever big name, male or female on-air television personality you can think of may be ready to emerge. And that makes me feel great. And obviously, I'm also hoping that there are great writers here too. I'm sure John Grisham agrees with that. There will be some of the students that will use the keyboard and words. But that's what this is about. Here we are in the real America. I hope that anyone who learns how to become a media star of the future and gets their start here in Mississippi, at Mississippi State University, will remember so many of the virtues that are here when they get to New York, or to Washington, or Chicago, or Atlanta, or San Francisco, or Los Angeles, or wherever. The goodness comes from here in this institution. I honestly believe that there are some stars on campus right now, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors. Right now, some young person is at this place the star of the future. Will be standing here where I am, or will be receiving recognition from this wonderful university as an alma mater. Let me just end by saying, for any of you who are students dreaming of a wonderful future, just please take a chance when you have an opportunity to, whether it's a career chance or on the personal side. Don't sit next to somebody and not, try it, okay? We at Block Communications and, MaxxSouth is relatively new to us, get involved in the places where we do business. Usually that's a single community with television or newspaper or something, but in the case of MaxxSouth and Mississippi, essentially it's most of the state, or most of the northern half of the state. I truly love this state, and I didn't know it very well before we came here. We are not a company that just pushes around assets like playing on the Monopoly board. Oh, when are you going to sell it next year to somebody else? When are you going to? No, we come to stay for a while and be involved and to get to know the place where we're in business. I want to connect on a spiritual and emotional level with the people we're so pleased to serve, MaxxSouth. Obviously, this great university, which sits in the middle of our service area, has caught our attention, and I've been greatly impressed by it. Anything that we can do to help the mission of this university, and I have to say, the leadership, Dr. Keenan, is wonderful. I've had to deal with university presidents around the country as a newspaper editor. In some cases, we had to throw stones because someone had to react to whatever was going on. And I am, now I'm not the editor of a local paper here, so maybe that would change things, but I'm fairly confident that without being overly fulsome about it, that I would be generally approving and supportive of the initiatives as I understand this university is making. It seems to me that it's a progress agenda, and I greatly admire, where I think it's going. I honestly believe that in 5 or 10 years, and I expect we'll be in business and continuing to work with the university, that we're going to see many other developments that are very, very positive. So this is an auspicious day for me. I'm so happy to be here. I'm proud that we have the opportunity to be in business in Mississippi and to serve this university in this town and this area. And obviously, for all of you here, anything that I or my colleagues at MaxxSouth or we're going to be around. Anything we can do that helps your mission, just let us know and we'll try our very best. Thank you.
Thank you, and once again, let's thank Mr. Block. There's one thing that I certainly want everybody to understand, that with our leader, our president, Dr. Keenum, who has the vision, that's been so special to us, Dr. Keenum, in that our vision and then your vision, and you've been supportive, and I want to have you all certainly thank him as well. Dr. Ford, we thank you, and as we said, maybe we did pray a little bit. I'm not real sure. And then Rick, we're so pleased that you're here, and we appreciate your support. And as always, I want to thank Stephen Canetto once again. We're going to do a little ribbon cutting back in the back, and we'll need our program folks to go back and join us there. And then you all please stop and see some of the things that were mentioned. This is so wonderful for our students. You know, we had to close the door today, but they'll be here as soon as they can get in. This is a wonderful place for them, and we're just so proud. So please have a cup of coffee or a glass of punch. Linda, I'm not sure we have coffee. We didn't yesterday. But anyway, we have to have coffee. But anyway, please make yourself welcome.
We're gonna do our post one first, then we're gonna cut it, all right? On 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, and on 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah.
All right, ready?
Ready.
Okay, here we go.